So this recording is going to take us through the next few lines of the set text, going from line 628 to line 642. And we start here with this word ingruit here. Now, the subject of ingruit is Aeneas. So Aeneas ingruit Italis. Now, ingruit means he is sweeping down and then on the Italians. That's Italis. And he's also proilia miscet. Now, literally, that means he's mixing miscet battles, proilia. He's mixing battles. But the idea is he's joining battle. He's getting involved in battle. And then she says, let us also. So et here really means also. And then nos means we or us. So the idea is let us as well, let us also. And then the verb here is mitamus. Now this is present subjunctive, so it means let us send. And what shall we send? Well, she's saying let us send by hand, so that word manu there is ablative, with our hands, by hand. Then you've got saiva funera, so saiva meaning savage or cruel, funera meaning deaths, funus, funeris being a death, on the Teucrians, Teucris. And Teucrians is just another word for the Trojans. So what she's suggesting is, Aeneas is fighting, we should fight as well. We should send deaths on the Trojans in return. And then we have nec, meaning and not, and she says, and you will not recedes. Now recedes here really means to leave. It's like discedes. So the idea is you will depart. Not inferior, nec inferior. You will depart not inferior in number, numero, and presumably here this means number of victims, number of people killed, number of deaths inflicted. So you will leave not inferior in the number of people killed, nor, neque, in the honour of battle, honore pugnae. So honore is ablative and then pugnae is genitive, in the honour of battle. So the idea is that he will have the same kind of honour, Turnus will have the same level of honour as Aeneas, and also he's going to be able to defeat the same number of enemies. So, and you will depart not inferior in number and not inferior in the honour of the fight. That's the idea. And then there's this short phrase here, turnus ad haec, and that literally just means Turnus to this. And we have to imagine that there's a word here like replied. So we have something like Turnus replied to this. And then we'll hear what Turnus has to say. And here is his speech. And he begins, O soror, O sister. And then he says, I recognized, agnovi, I recognized you, presumably, I recognized you, dudum means already. So I recognized you already. There's no word for you, but we can assume that's what he's talking about. I recognized you already. When, that's cum, and then prima means at first, right? When at first, per artem, through your skill, or even through a trick. Here, artem means something like a trick, or cunning, or skill, something like that. When first, through your skill, you foidera turbasti. Now, turbasti here is a sort of shortened version of turbavisti. Turbavisti. So it's a second person singular perfect tense verb. So when first you disturbed or upset the phoidera. Now phoidos is a treaty, so literally phoidera is plural, it means treaties, but we can translate it as singular. So I recognized you already when first, through your skill, you upset the treaty, and que, literally you gave, dedisti, you gave yourself, that's te, into these wars, in haec bella. Okay, so I recognized you when you gave yourself into these wars. And again, we could translate bella as singular into this war. And now we have et. Now, nunc, nequiquam in vain, and then fallis dea literally means you deceive as a goddess. In other words, you pretend not to be a goddess. So you're pretending not to be a goddess in vain, unsuccessfully. And then he asks a question, which is, but who, said quis, wanted you voluit te? So, but who wanted you? And then there's a participle agreeing with te, which is de missam. That's a feminine accusative participle, meaning having been sent down. Right? Mito is to send, de mito is to send down. So who wanted you, having been sent down from Olympus, to bear, or endure, that's ferre, to bear such great toils, tantos labores. So tantos means so great, and labores means labours or toils. So, but who wanted you, having been sent down from Olympus, to bear such great toils or labours? And then Turnus speculates about what the answer might be. He says, was it, now an means something like, was it the case that, was it so that, there's ut, so was it so that you would see, videres, that's subjunctive after ut, this is a purpose clause, was it so that, or for the purpose that, you would see the cruel death, crudele means cruel, latum means death, right? So was it so that you would see the cruel death of your fratris miseri, right? That's genitive, of your wretched brother, right? So what was it so that you could see the cruel death of your wretched brother? And then he says, for nam, for what am I to do? Now, ago literally means am doing, like what am I doing? But really, the idea is what should I do? Right? This is a kind of, this would normally be a subjunctive here. So, for what am I to do? What should I do? And then he says, or, that's out, what fortune, quae fortuna, what chance, now, that's yam, promises, that's spondet, salutem, means safety or salvation, right? So, or what chance now promises safety? So he's saying, you know, what turn of events, what happenings at this point could save us? And he presumably thinks there isn't any. There's nothing that could now happen that would save them. And then he says, I saw vidi, and ipse really goes with vidi. So ipse really means I myself. I myself saw, ipse vidi, before my eyes, ante oculos, so ante before, plus accusative, oculos meaning eyes. I myself saw before my eyes. And then the object is Muranus, and he's in the accusative here, Muranum. And Muranus is described with this participle. Muranus, who was vocantem, so that's an accusative participle agreeing with Muranum, calling me, so me is the object of vocantem, calling me with his voice. And then meos, by the way, is agreeing with oculos, my eyes. So I myself, ipse, saw, vidi, before my eyes, ante meos oculos, Muranus, that's Muranum, calling me, vocantem me, with his voice, voce, and voce is ablative, because it means with his voice. And then there's a description of Muranus, quo non superat mihi carior alter. And that means than whom, quo is an ablative of comparison. Muranus is the person than whom another person, alter, dearer to me, carior mihi, does not survive, non superat. So carior means dearer, it's a comparative adjective, and then mihi means to me. So than whom another person dearer to me does not survive. In other words, there's no one still alive who I care about more than I cared about Muranus. Right? I care more about the dead Muranus than I care about anyone left alive. That's the point. And then he tells us what he saw Muranus do. He says, I saw Muranus opetere. That means die. Right? So I saw Muranus die. And then we get another description of Muranus. He was ingentem. He was a huge man, a mighty man. And he was victum. That's a perfect passive participle. He was conquered. Ingenti vulnere, that's an ablative of instrument. He was conquered by a huge wound. Ingenti vulnere. Okay, that's quite a difficult sentence. I'll just go through that again. So, I myself, ipse, saw, vidi, before my eyes, ante meos oculos, Muranus, Muranum, calling me, vocantem me, with his voice, voce, Muranus, than whom, quo, there does not survive, non superat, another person, alter, dearer to me, carior mihi. And then we have, I saw Muranus die, opetere, literally huge and conquered by a huge wound. So Muranus is ingentem, huge, and he was also victum, conquered, defeated, by a huge wound, ingenti vulnere. And then we have these last two lines. Now I want you to make a quick note here. The text in your booklets here says ne nostrum, but I've changed the order of those two words to nostrum ne. It doesn't actually make any difference to the exact English meaning, but that's the word order that the IB, that the IB edition has. So just swap those two words around in your booklet. Just change ne nostrum to nostrum ne. And this is the sentence that we have. Ill-fated ufens, infelix ufens. Infelix means unlucky or unhappy, and ufens is the name of another companion of Turnus. So he says, unlucky ufens perished, occidit, he died, So that, and here we have ne, meaning so that not, or lest. That's like the opposite of ut in a purpose clause. He died so that he would not see, aspiceret, there's our subjunctive after ne. He died so that he would not see nostrum dedecus, our shame. Nostrum meaning our, dedecus meaning shame. So, unlucky Ufens, infelix Ufens, died, occidit, so that he would not see, ne aspiceret, or lest he should see, ne aspiceret, our shame, nostrum dedecus. And then we have a new subject, Teucri, the Teucrians, possess potiuntur. Potior is a deponent verb. It looks passive, but it has an active meaning, and the meaning is they possess. Okay, so the Teucrians, that's the Trojans, possess his body, corpora, and his weapons, his armies. Potior takes ablative, so that's why corpora is ablative, and that's why armis is ablative. So the Trojans, the Teucrians, possess or have his body and his weapons, and this refers to the body and the weapons of Ufens, who's died.